Hey everyone, happy Wednesday and happy Vlogmas day 11. Let's get ready for school. Hi everyone, I'm back. I know I kind of took another little tiny hiatus. I literally didn't film a video yesterday, but I'm going to give you guys a reason why. So, I forgot to mention on Monday, I'm just now realizing that I forgot to mention that this week has been a spirit week. Because I probably looked a little wacky on Monday, I'm not gonna lie. Out of context. And, so we have a spirit week every, year around the week before finals week. Because, it's like a winter, holiday kind of, spirit week. So, Monday was wear, snow gear or, whiteout kind of day. I went for snow gear, obviously, as you could probably tell. Or maybe you couldn't tell. I was wearing, snow pants. It was kind of funny to, walk around in snow pants because the thing is, I forgot a jacket. So, my top was cold, but my lids were, nice and warm. So, that was interesting. And then yesterday was supposed to be dressed up as a celebrity day. Oh, I totally hit my lip doing that. Hold on. Sorry, I got halo glow on my lip. I didn't want to accidentally taste that. So, yesterday was dressed up as a celebrity day. And I went as Drake Bell, obviously. Who else was I gonna go as? But because I was going as a guy, I didn't really need to wear makeup. So I didn't do makeup. So obviously, I didn't film a video. But now I'm back, and today is wear holiday colors. So I'm wearing this holiday Snoopy sweater. So I'll keep you guys posted and keep you guys updated of the week of the days. Obviously we only have 2 more. Yeah. So that's why I didn't do makeup yesterday, but I plan to do makeup and have cute outfits the rest of the week. So you guys will get your videos. So I haven't actually been doing foundation recently. I've just been doing Halo Glow, and I actually don't think it looks half bad. Oh, but yeah, I just haven't been feeling putting foundation on. So maybe I just haven't felt fighting with my foundation. I don't know. So anyway, I'm going back to the topic I was talking about on Monday, and I kind of started rushing at some point. So I'm gonna try and summarize roughly what I was talking about, and then get further into the topic. I'm also gonna let this sit a little bit. So while we let this marinate, I'm gonna do contour. But so like I was saying, the Ned's declassified. Also, I wonder anyone out there who has seen Ned's declassified, because I feel like I've heard of it, but I never saw it. And so I don't know if it got the same kind of treatment as Drake and Josh did, after its air. After its original air. Because after its original air, Drake and Josh, obviously still had reruns. Obviously still was going on the air. That's why a lot of generations now still know it. Even if you didn't grow up with it in the early 2000s. Even if you were born at a younger... even if you're younger now, there's a reason why there's, 10-year-old boys who can quote Drake and Josh or whatever. I'm using that, or I don't know if he was 10. I'm using that as an example because there was a little boy that came with his parents to one of Drake Bell's shows. I think it was the one, oh god, I'm blanking. I think it was in Florida that he did. It was that Kona skate house place or something like that, whatever that place was called. Yeah, it was that show. And it was this really cute moment. They posted it on Instagram, and then Drake reposted it or something on his story or something like that. It was a really sweet little moment. But there's a reason why that kind of happened, is because Drake and Josh got the airtime. It got reruns and stuff like that. I don't know if Ned's Declassified got the same kind of treatment, because I feel like I've heard of it. The name sounds familiar, but I've never seen it, I don't think. But anyway. So, the Ned's Declassified cast went on TikTok Live, said something they shouldn't have, and then quote-unquote apologized about it. But the thing is, they've been going really back and forth with their apology, and it's like one of the weirdest things, which is I think what makes this situation feel even more crummier and weird, is because of how they treated their apology. So, basically, they said what they said, and again, y'all can like search that out if y'all want to. I'm not gonna say it on here because it's disgusting and I don't wish to say that out loud. But they said what they said, and then you know, it made its way to Drake because someone had recorded it on, like they had screen recorded it and then posted it on Twitter, which I don't know why. Maybe they were like screen recording the live and being like, oh, here's the TikTok live, and then they said that thing, and then they're like, oh my god, and just kept the recording. I don't really know why they were recording the TikTok live, but someone was recording it, and that's how it eventually caught wind and got its way to Drake, is because, you know, it had been posted on Twitter. And so then, you know, Drake made his little response because, you know, he was mad, rightfully so, and the Ned's cast caught wind of that, like Drake's response to their comment. So, then Devin Werkheiser, he commented on, or sorry, not commented, he posted like this, like, it was meant to be an apology post. It was just a weird one. It didn't really, because it was just like, it felt very PR statement, and then it used the word, like, it used like middle school vocabulary. Like, it said something like, so sorry to Drake, like the caption was like, so sorry to Drake, gutted I hurt you, or gutted we hurt you, or something like that. It's like, we can't use bigger words, we can't use like more like mature words, and also that it was just, I don't know. I also later found out that a lot of this stuff that they did and said has since been deleted, so that's pretty sketchy too. I'm not gonna lie. Why would you delete like something like that? Like, you apologize. Why would you delete an apology? Why would you delete an apology? But then they went on a podcast. I'm trying to summarize this. I don't actually remember how much I said yesterday, so I'm trying to summarize it. They went on their podcast that they have, and they made like a whole apology statement, which again, I don't know how true or genuine any of this stuff is, because they claim that they didn't see Quiet on set, yet were able to say like the Drake Bell stuff that happened, like the Drake Bell stuff, I'm not gonna say the actual word, which is in the TikTok live. So like, you're kind of, I don't know, something's not adding up. Like, something's not adding up, you know? But anyway, so then that apology came out, and they apologized in the podcast, claiming like they hadn't seen Quiet on set yet, and then they are like, oh, we realize how this sounds now that we've seen it, and all this stuff. Because they claimed that they weren't talking about Drake, they weren't like making fun of Drake because they weren't talking about him. But y'all know how it sounds. Anyway, world's smallest violin. So then that podcast came out, and I don't actually know the timeline of how these things came out, but I think, okay. So the podcast episode came out, and I'm pretty sure Daniel Curtis Lee, which is another cast member, made this like TikTok video speaking in Spanish and like saying how Drake Bell was a hero and all this stuff. It was really weird. I didn't finish it. It was like a 2-minute video or something, but it was odd. So like it was a weird video, so I didn't finish it, but that was kind of like the gist of the video, I suppose. And so, then there was this video. I guess probably the cast was still getting flack or hate or whatever from what they said. And that made Devin mad. Because he made this video basically throwing a little hissy fit. And kind of saying, like, taking back basically everything in the apology. Like, you had already apologized. You had already left it be. But basically, I guess people were probably still mad. Which is, like, just because you apologize doesn't mean that, like, you're going to, like, everything's going to be better. Because especially when your apology read very insincere, because you're claiming that you didn't see Quiet on set but made a comment that screamed that you did. And so, they made this video, which basically kind of takes away their apology. And they could have just left without it. But again, it's since been deleted as well. But it was basically kind of saying a lot of the lines of like, I already apologized, why are you still mad at me? Kind of thing, which we all know an apology does not guarantee forgiveness. It just means, like, thank you for apologizing. That doesn't mean that you're not gonna, that someone's not gonna still be mad at you. But it does mean a lot that you apologized. So, you know, like, a apology does not guarantee forgiveness. But it's a good thought, you know what I mean? Like, it's nice to apologize. It's very good to apologize. But that doesn't mean you're gonna, like, be forgiven. But you should still apologize, like, if you do something wrong. But, like, the thing is like, they're, like, out here, like, but then the thing is, they also were saying something along the lines of, like, we apologized, like, we made it, but, like, I don't know if they said this in the, like, in the podcast that they did, but they've been saying, like, the entire time that it was an ill-timed joke. Like, they made a joke at a bad time. By saying something like that, it makes it sound like there's a right time for the type of joke that they made, which there's not. The type of joke that they made is not a joke. Like, the type of joke they made, there's never a right time for that type of joke. And so the way that the thing reads is very much like they, like, they're not sorry about their actions, they're just sorry they got caught. Because, like, they make it sound like it was an ill-timed joke. Like, the thing that they said was okay, they just said it at a bad time. Which, for the people out there who actually know what they said on their TikTok live, that's never an okay thing to say. That's never an okay thing to do or say. So, no. So, what it screams a lot like is that they are mad about, like, getting, like, hate, and they don't actually understand what they did. Like, they understand, like, they don't actually understand that what they did was bad, is the kind of thing. Because they're like, they keep saying that, like, it was an ill-timed joke. It's like, well, it should have never been said in the first place. It makes it sound a lot like, they're like, you know, like, again, it gives a lot of the things, like, had we known the circumstances, we wouldn't have joked about it. It's like, you shouldn't have been joking about it in the first place. Like, there's never a right, it just reads a lot like they're mad about the fact that they're getting hate and don't actually understand the, like, what they're actually saying. Like, they don't actually understand that what they're saying is wrong and what they said was wrong, kind of thing. So that kind of took away from the original apology that they had done. Like, you could have just left it at that. No one was really talking about you. It was, like, kind of better or whatever. But, like, you obviously did not leave it there. So, then it gets worse. No, it doesn't get better, it gets worse. So, again, no one was talking about this. This happened maybe, like, in May. Or, sorry, no, this happened in, like, March. and then that was it. I don't know how the progression of the like apologies and stuff continued on, but it was like something like that, like around March-ish. And that was it, and we were all fine, and everything was good. But then, Daniel Curtis Lee went on this podcast. I don't know who the podcast people were, but he went on this podcast. Ironically, the podcast is called Surrounded by Idiots. And basically started making... Sorry, my phone's falling again. Okay, we're basically gonna do this. Basically started making fun of Drake Bell again. And started saying stuff like how, like, his PR team was winning because, like, because of the way that he, like, switched up his appearance in the public, like how everyone was hating him and then everyone loved him and whatever. And then was also saying something like the fact that, like, he overreacted with what, like, they said, like, he took it in that way. Like, they're like, oh, like, we weren't talking about this or whatever, but it's like he took it that way. Like, very mockingly, very condescendingly, very, like, very condescendingly, very mockingly, very, like, demeaning, kind of. So, and I'm like, again, you just erased every single apology that you could have ever done in this, like, very few moments. So, it's like, why even apologize if you're just going to erase it? So forgive us if when we see them hanging out together, we're a little apprehensive. Obviously, it's up to Drake to decide who he's going to forgive and how he's going to forgive and what he's going to do with that forgiveness. But, like, one thing is, like, forgiveness doesn't necessarily have to mean reconciliation. Like, you can be like, hey, I forgive you. I forgive that person, but I don't want to talk to them again. I don't want to see them again. But obviously, like, you can still see the person, but you don't have to is the thing. Okay, so, obviously, again, like, that's to him, because they were all at the Nostalgia Con thing in Houston together, and it seems like, I don't know if they were, it seems like they were hanging out, like, outside of the con, and also, like, in the con, I guess. Which, again, like I said, like, it's up to Drake, obviously, if he's going to, like, forgive them and then still hang out with them. Like, there's people in my life who I've forgiven, but, like, I don't want to associate myself with them. Like, I wouldn't go hang out with them, but I've forgiven them. Like, I don't hold any ill will towards them, but I just wouldn't go hang out with them. I wouldn't go see them. I wouldn't go, like, I don't know why the lighting's weird again, but I wouldn't go seek them out. Like, that's your own journey, you know what I mean? And obviously, like, no one can tell Drake Bell how to feel. But, like, someone's that... It's, like, it almost kind of feels like a repeat of, like, the Josh Peck thing, even though he's not praising them. It's, like, someone who's hurt you once is, like, that is probably gonna end up hurting you again. Because they don't understand the consequences of their actions, or they don't understand the concept of, like... I don't know, it didn't, the amount of apologies that they had redacted, or, like, had taken back, like, just screams like they don't actually regret anything, they just are mad that they got flack and they got hate, which is never a good thing, because if you're making a joke like that, and then don't see the problem of making a joke like that, chances are you're probably gonna do it again. Like, or something like it. It's like, if they've already hurt you once, what's gonna stop them from doing it again? So, I mean, unless it's just, like, one day. Like, if it's one day, maybe it's different. It's like, if it's one day and then you never see them again, or you don't associate yourself with them again, you're probably fine. But, like, that's why we're kind of just, like... But it also could be, like, an inner thing. Like, it could also be, like, a this is not for you, this is for me kind of thing. Where, like, maybe because, like, you know, obviously Drake Bell is trying to heal. He's trying to make amends. He's trying to live his best life so he can be the best version of himself for, you know, the other people in his life. And maybe part of that healing process is if someone hurts you, like, don't hold a grudge. And, I mean, that's real. Like, I mean, if you look back at, like, the podcast, I think that Will Friedle and Ryder Strong were on, talking about how, like, they talked about their support letters and then spoke to Drake, and once they, like, found a way to contact him, and had both had, like, 2-hour conversations with Drake, and in both of which Drake actually spent the first 45 minutes, like, consoling them and telling them, like, it's not, like, you know, like, trying to make them feel better, and literally started both of their conversations out with, before you say anything, I want you to know that I love you and I forgive you. Like, that's how he started the conversation. He could have chosen to be mad. He could have chosen to be as peeved as he wanted to. He could have been, like, throwing F-bombs and cussing them out and doing whatever the heck he wanted to. He could have chose to do that, but he didn't. He chose to lead in a more, like, forgiving, loving manner. And that could just be the way that he's trying to walk through life now, which he was just, I don't know if he held grudges in the past, but you know what I mean? Like, that could be just, like, how he's choosing to live his life. And obviously no one can tell him to do anything different. And that's, again, it's good for him. But, like, so maybe, but it just feels really weird because of, like, it would have been different if they had made the joke and then had apologized and it seemed like they were genuine. But the amount of, like, back and forthing and, like, taking it back and saying all these different things makes it feel like the original apology was ingenuine. And that's what, like, makes us feel, like, about it. So, anyway, I don't know. To each their own. Drake Bell, if you're watching this. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, comment down below your guys' thoughts. It's just odd, I suppose. I think that's more really what it is. Obviously, again, it's not our journey. We can't tell anybody how to feel about somebody, but that's just how I feel. It's just odd. Though, it's just odd. Like, again. But, if it's one night, it's not as bad as, like, actually letting them back into your lives or letting them into your lives. So, I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's fine. If it's just, like, one night. But if you start being friends with them, that's when it's kind of like, that's a slippery slope. Okay. First setting spray. Okay. Second setting spray. Okay, I'm gonna do lips and I'll be right back. Okay, this is the final look, and I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys have a great day. Have a blessed day. Jesus loves you. I love you, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.